organizer, His Excellency Mr. Dean, Professor Sinko, I would like to thank you for inviting me here today. Dear speakers, dear participants, it's an honor for me to participate in this conference, in this wonderful city and building that gives us what Slovakia and Europe can offer to our guests. I would say one thing. First of all, the European Economic and Social Committee is a consultative body of the Commission, European Parliament and the Council. It's the committee of the civil society organization in Europe. And I will not speak here today as a representative of the Commission, because I'm not, but as a representative of the committee, of the European Economic and Social Committee, where I'm president of one of the 6 sections, the economic and section. So, I will divide my speech in the following 3 parts. The first one is geopolitical view of the BRI. Then I would share with you some opportunity and challenge for the EU. And finally, I would underline some aspect of the EU strategy and very short conclusion. So, I think that the BRI could be a great opportunity for building a great connectivity between Europe and Asia in general, and Europe and China in particular. Often, when we talk about the BRI, we listen from the Chinese counterpart this quotation: if you want to be rich, build a road first. And you can understand, as true as this quotation is, when you see this map, and when we understand what is behind this map. 55% of the world GDP in this area, 70% of the world population, 75% of the global energy resource, and more than 65 countries involved. A huge program. Sorry, we should to name it in a correct way, not a program, an initiative. An initiative that we have 7 corridors. Very important corridors. Anyway, even if the BRI has resulted in considerable interest and engagement at government level, it needs to be noted that is an open platform, as His Excellency Mr. Dean said this morning. It involves a significant component of communication and branding, with many projects labeled as a Belt and Road Initiative, apparently because they fall within its geographical scope. For example, China's investment in the port of Piraeus in Greece in 2009, which was secured well before the initiative was launched, is now regarded as one of the major BRI projects. It is not, in any case, a very clear defined development plan and budget, and is not defined by a clear list of projects that is intended to include. It has not a clear geographical and economic boundary, and appears to have evolved in response to individual country engagement with China, rather than in line with an overarching strategy. Well, in this map, we can see how this initiative involved the Eurasian area. Well, there is an apparent flexibility in this initiative. It is open at all country and international and regional organization for engagement, and you can read this in the vision and action documents. Well, seems that a sentence of Deng Xiaoping could give us the guiding principle of the BRI. Practice is the test of the truth. Because practice should lead the BRI and the practitioner seek the truth from reality and not from theory. Seems to me so that the BRI is a work in progress, a sort of process learning by doing, and this could be in the same time the strength and the weaker point of the initiative. When we debate about BRI, I think that we should put in the table some questions. Could the BRI become the next future Eurasia initiative, and could become a whole Eurasian initiative without the direct involvement of a country like Japan, like India, Australia, and Vietnam? Could be the BRI a peace support for some sensitive area involved by the initiative? I hope it's possible to respond positively to this question, but at the moment there are some doubts. And I think that all the actors of the land involved should act together to make this question in a positive way. And this process should involve at the same level all the country, all the different level of governance, supranational, national, regional, and local. And in each country, all the stakeholders touched from the initiative. Civil society organizations, NGO, social and economic partners, trade unions, enterprises, academy, and so on. In any case, at this stage, the Belt and Road Initiative corridor primarily enhances the connectivity between China and existing economic community. North Asia community, Southeast Asia community, South Asia community, and Central Western Asia community. So I think that we can go to the opportunity and challenge for the European Union. Well, Asia is an important continent for Europe. We can see that 1.5 trillion of euro in annual trade between Europe and Asia. Europe and Asia account for over 60% of the world GDP. And in this way, China is one of the most important EU partners of the continent. As you can see in this slide, is the biggest trading partner with China is the EU's second largest trading partner. Trading goods between the two areas is worth well over 1 billion euro a day. So it's very important, our relation. But before to analyze the opportunity and the challenge for the EU from the Belt and Road Initiative, we should try to analyze what could be the BRI for China. Is a multiple strategy to support export of materials and equipment in overcapacity as a response to a decline in China domestic growth and export demand. The BRI was at least partly intended to enable it control logistic chains supporting trade with Europe. One of the main problems for China is the uneven growth level between western and northern provinces from one side and the eastern province on the other side. And with this initiative, they can reduce the gap. The Belt and Road Initiative is a supporting financial system, can be seen as a challenge for the Western-led financial system. And the Belt and Road Initiative, I could be see partly driven by the need to reduce China's dependency on particular source of energy. I want to be friendly. They are all legitimate goals from the China Sea side. So, for the European Union side, there is an opportunity, and I want to underline some. We can see that the involvement of Chinese party on construction, risk and project. This is very important for us. There is opportunity for commercial route and services between China and the EU available for EU operator, enterprises, shipper and industry. There is a platform to streamline custom arrangement, and this is very important. EU construction firms involved in transport infrastructure projects along the Belt and Road Initiative, not only in the Central and Eastern Europe, but also in the Asia country. And there is the development of rail freight can reduce the CO2 emission. Another is the potentiality for the blue economy in the Mediterranean regions, because it is a big challenge, it's a big opportunity for the Mediterranean area. But there are some other challenges. I think that we should underline that we cannot underestimate the financial sustainability of the infrastructure project that happen in some Asian countries like Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Malaysia and Myanmar. I think that there is a lack of BRI investment plan that can generate duplicate or competition project between Europe and China. And the control of the logistic chain can increase the Chinese market power. It's legitimate. But I think that we should take care of this from the European side. In a non-EU country could be undermined construction or operational EU standard and can be altered the relative competitive position for some EU member states. Can be reduced the commercial traffic with the main European Atlantic ports. So, I want to underline the EU common strategy, able to act with the Belt and Road Initiative. A coordinated and pan-European approach is only slowly emerging. The initiative was presented in September 2013 in Astana, Kazakhstan, and with a very late the European Union institution take this initiative in a very proper way. I think that in this EU common strategy there will be some point that shouldn't be underestimated. The first one is the reciprocity approach and level playing field in trade and investment. Equal market access, coordination between BRI and trans-European transport network, promote jointly agreed international standards to guarantee the health of citizens, the environment, human, social and labor rights, and the rule of law. For example, we can take the labor right topic. For us, it's not conceivable that a Chinese firm could operate without the respect of labor international standards. There are practices that could be followed from each of us, because in this way the failure to comply the labor rights standard not only is a failure to recognize a right of the employee, but is also a competition problem, because the firm that doesn't respect the right operate in the market in an unduly privileged position. And China has not ratified the following 4 fundamental ILO core conventions on forced labor, on freedom of association and protection, and to organize a collective bargaining convention and the abolition of forced labor convention. Our committee hopes that all these ILO labor conventions will be ratified as soon as possible with important improvement in the labor condition. Now we can see the EU strategy for the Belt and Road Initiative. I don't think that is a defensive approach. It is an approach to guarantee a win-to-win principle in this strategy. There are 5 main tools that should make an EU common strategy. The first one is the EU-China Connectivity Platform and the link with the connected EU-Asia building blocks for an EU strategy. There is the EU-China Strategic Outlook that the Commission released just 10 days ago, the 12th or 13th March 2019. There is the EU Framework for Screening Foreign Direct Investment, and there is the EU-China Comprehensive Agreement on the Investment. Well, the EU-China Connected Platform is an important tool that can give us the importance of the linkage between EU and China and Asia. In the platform, there is a very important link to the investment and financing cooperation, a list of pilot projects, green and smart transport development, key multimodal hub, and the missing link with the European strategy for the transport and EU-China cargo routes, and synergy between the respective strategic land and sea corridor planning, covering with Western Balkan, Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and Western Asia. Each year there is an action plan with specification, working method, and list of projects in the platform. Obviously, this strategy should be linked with the Connecting Europe and Asia strategy. That is very important for us. The Belt and Road Initiative needs a coherent network with a 10th network corridor. This is very important. There is the EU-China strategic outlook. The document was a turning point in the EU attitude toward China. The EU language in the document is forthright. Long supposed strategic partner, China is the first time identified as a systemic rival promoting alternative models of governance and an economic competitor in the pursuit of technological leadership. In the document, the Commission showed a forthright dislike about the restricted access to the Chinese market and the aggressive and unfair practices of state-owned Chinese companies in China and abroad. In this document, the main message is the following. Neither the EU nor any of its member states can effectively achieve their plans without a fully European unity. In cooperating with China, all member states, individually and within sub-regional cooperation frameworks such as the 16+1 format, have a responsibility to ensure consistency with the EU law, rules and policy. This joint communication assesses the multiple dimension of EU relation, its opportunity and its challenges, and set out 10 concrete actions for discussion and endorsement by the European Council. There are 10 actions. The first one about human rights, peace and security and development. The second one about sustainable development goals. And there are other interesting action in the document. But there is another important tool that we should take in consideration. Is the framework for the screening of the foreign direct investment. This is a general tool, not directly only for Chinese direct investment in the EU, but for all investment from other external countries to the European Union. So the complaint is not only for the Chinese investment, but for all investment in the whole concept. And in this way, there is the opportunity to screening the foreign direct investment for this kind of sector. Critical infrastructure, critical technologies, the supply of critical inputs, energy or raw materials, access to sensitive information or to the ability to control information, and freedom and pluralism of media. With this framework, there is a screening of the external investment in the EU border. Very important. So this is the general common strategy. I don't speak about the EU-China comprehensive agreement on the investment that is in progress, and I hope that will be in the final stage and signed from the EU and China. I want to go to the conclusion, so I finish my time. Well, I think that if we want to have a win-to-win strategy, we must take in mind some points very important for us. The first one is that Belt and Road Initiative should be placed in a framework of Eurasian connectivity integrated between Europe, China and Asia. It's a mutual relation, as Mrs. Major said this morning. I think that we should respect the European principle and international standard for human rights, social and labor rights, peace, security, and sustainable development. I think that we should to take in mind the reciprocity principle in trade and investment, and the EU should safeguard its strategic sector by the implementation of the screening of the foreign direct investment, and should be due from the Chinese and other Eurasian counterparts. And finally, should be guaranteed the real involvement of all stakeholders, civil society organizations, social and economic partners, NGOs, university, as Jet Yang told this morning. In this way, it's possible that Belt and Road Initiative could not be a one-way initiative, but a real Eurasian initiative. As Bruno Magalhães, a Portuguese minister, written in his book The Dawn of Eurasia, take note that the ancient Silk Road was less about trade in goods than about cultural exchanges, the movement of ideas, religions, and people. The former was always limited in size and mostly local. The latter changed the course of the world history not once, but many times over. Well, I hope that as you started alone this initiative, and I refer to the Chinese, I hope that you conclude this initiative with the support at the same level of the other Euro-Asian member states in a level of horizontal responsibility and importance. Thanks so much for your passion.